The Mekong Delta. Join us today as we explore this region of southern Vietnam. However, this time we're escaping the overcrowded tour boats and the usual tourist traps to truly experience the life and culture of Vietnam. I've teamed up with a good friend of mine and local tour guide, Lee May, to plan our own unique itinerary. A 3-day, 200-kilometre journey north from the city of Tho, then south to the city of Tho, taking the sights, sounds, aromas that few other visitors experience. The Mekong River is the world's 12th longest river and the 3rd longest in Asia. With its source high in the Tibetan Plateau, the Mekong finds its way through 6 other countries before emptying itself in the Vietnam Sea via the Mekong Delta. At 40,500 square kilometres, it covers most of southwest Vietnam and is rich in culture, beauty and a unique way of life. The Mekong Delta plays a significant role in the reduction of the majority of Vietnam's food through agriculture and fisheries. I've known Lee, our guide, since 2018. He has proven himself extremely reliable and resourceful. Highly educated, Lee is fluent in Khmer, Vietnamese and English. Being born and raised in West Vietnam near the Cambodian border, he knows the Delta well, its people, culture and sometimes mysterious ways. We start our Mekong Delta adventure from the city of Tho, located about 70 kilometres southwest of the capital, Ho Chi Minh. Tho is the regional centre for economics, education and technology. The city is popular with tourists for sightseeing, full-day boat trips around the Mekong and stepping off point for the Mekong River cruises to Cambodia and beyond. I met up with Lee and spent a few days going over last-minute details and preparing for the trip. So on the morning of departure, and after a good breakfast consisting of po, a noodle soup, chicken and vegetables, we set off on our journey. As we cruise upriver, Lee points out several places of interest as we pass various plantations and fields of different crops. We steam past countless islands, tributaries and canals and witness a glimpse of village life on the river. After about an hour and a half into the journey, we swing left into a canal that heads up to our first stop of the day. In the distance, we see a series of large conical shaped structures resembling giant beehives. This is Vinh brick factory. Dating back for over a century, this factory and others like it in the area have provided employment and boosted the economy of the region. But these days, with modern manufacturing methods and modern building materials, these historic complexes face an uncertain future. We leave the brick factory and return to the main river, again marvelling at the scenes that present themselves along the way, to our first overnight stop. This is the Thap region of the Delta, about 50 kilometres from Tho, our departure point. We have organised some homestay accommodation for the night. We made it through various canals as we observed the life of the people going about their day. We dock our boat at a small makeshift jetty and are welcomed by some local kids. We stroll along a boardwalk and arrive at our homestay and were greeted by our hosts. After a quick look around and dumping our backpacks, I realised that this facility would never make it into the hotel star rating charts. But this is authentic Vietnamese hospitality, a real taste of village life on the Delta. And for $7 per night, including dinner, what do you expect? After an unexpectedly well-rested night, we awake early, thank and say farewell to our host and head down to the boat to search for breakfast. We head to one of the many floating markets that are dotted around the Delta. Here you'll find all manner of fresh produce, meat and seafood. At this time of day, you'll witness vendors stocking their barges, preparing for the day's trade. It didn't take long to find some breakfast. Chén chua cá, or sour soup with fish and rice, filled the void in our stomachs. Then we were soon on our way on the day 2 of our little odyssey. This will be the longest leg of our trip, about 70 kilometres. We continue north towards the Cambodian border for about an hour, then make a sharp left turn, heading west along a wide canal. After about an hour in this canal, we pull into a junction where 5 other waterways branch off. Lee negotiates with owners of smaller boats more capable of navigating the narrow waterways. Lee secures 3 bamboo boats for our party for around $20 Australian. As we glide through the various islands, canals and waterways, it is explained to us that the North Vietnamese Army used this area as a staging point in the closing stages of the Vietnam War. As we witness the dense tropical vegetation, it is impossible to truly describe this area. But it is not impossible to imagine how nearly 6,000 communist troops remained undiscovered here until their final assault on Saigon. We manoeuvre out of the canal and are now heading south on the Hao River. After a little over an hour steaming, we reach our next overnight stay, the city of Xuyen. We've booked a hotel not far from where we secure the boats for the night. As usual, the crew chooses to sleep on the boat. For me, I opt for a hot shower, a good meal and a cold beer with clean sheets, not necessary in that order. Xuyen is not a typical tourist destination in the Delta, more of a transit stop. Well, it is as far as I'm concerned. Early the next morning, we set off on our final leg of the trip, a snappy 3.5-hour voyage south, taking more views of the river, life and culture of the Delta. We pass boat after boat, village after village, as we approach our final destination, Tho City. The way we have planned and executed this trip may not suit everybody's idea of an adventure. However, if you are willing to do the work to put in an off-the-grid trip like this together, I assure you the rewards outweigh the effort. I've outlined the trip's cost breakdown in the description below. The Mekong Delta is considered the food bowl of Vietnam, annually producing enough rice, fruit and fish to supply the entire country. The area is also known for its biodiversity, supporting thousands of species of fish, animals and plant life. But the icing on the cake is the area's historical and cultural significance. I highly recommend spending at least a few days here to experience what the Delta has to offer. Well, thanks for watching and I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe, comment and give this video the thumbs up. Happy travels.